what's being offered month after month that's different to bring them back.
Right. So it's a combination of things. Some of it is behind the scenes stuff in the studio, but there's also um, some live performances. There's some like interactive Zoom performances, kind of like this, and just a myriad of just stuff, man. We're just trying stuff, and the shit that works, we keep doing. The shit that don't work, we just pretend like the shit didn't happen.
Yes, what's up?
Hey,
Dan, you guys, you said you're the independent. I know you guys been independent for quite some time. Did you ever, but by you being independent, is there a deal you can get that you'll take that has a price tag that you'll give up your independent?
Yeah, yes and no. So, and it's funny, I was having this conversation with someone. So for us in particular, a big part of our business has been touring. So if there was a deal that really focused on the record side and just the general marketing side, and there was somebody that wanted to do that, let them do that shit. As long as it's not some sort of 360 deal where they want in on the other parts of the business. It ain't really no money in records, man. Unless you're I'm not gonna say no money, because them checks come in from streaming every month, and it's a blessing. But in terms of, it's not like it was in the 90s. Nobody's selling 1 million records no more.
Yeah.
And unless you have a diversified entertainment business with products and obviously touring and whatever else works, you can make work. It just doesn't make sense. So the short of it is, yes, if it was a deal that didn't intrude on the other part of the business, and they could make the record shit happen and make some money for them and make some money for us, and as a side effect, we could tour way more and charge way more and all that shit, it would be a done deal. And I mean, when we've been in some talks with a couple of different situations, but the truth of the matter is, we 50-year-old, close to 50-year-old middle-aged people that have a particular market, they're not really super interested in us. They're interested in the little baby wops and all, and all of them. That's where the real money is with the kids. But the beautiful thing for us though is, I don't need 1 million people. I need that 1,000 or 5,000 or 10,000 people on my platform at $5, or between $5 and $8 a month, is 1 million.
Yeah.
At the crib.
Yeah.
And so, and it kind of, the net effect is, if we're able to get that kind of momentum on our own, we own the whole, we're no longer on the table. We're not even at the table. We had our own goddamn table in our own goddamn booth. We don't even need to be at the table. And I'm not pressed about it.
Yeah. Where do you see yourself? I mean, I know you love music. As far as the business itself, is there a retirement plan, or is it something that you guys just gonna ride it out till the wheels fall off? Pass the torch. I know you guys got some people in the family that's some singers and that play those instruments.
So yes to all of the above. I don't, one of the saddest, no, I shouldn't say saddest, but a place that I don't want to be. There's an artist that is a jazz artist that we probably all know. I won't say his name. We were playing at the Blue Note. We were playing the late night set at the Blue Note in New York, and we saw him, and he was finishing the second to the last night of a 1-week run of 2 or 3 shows a night at almost 75 years old. And it was clear that he wasn't there because he wanted to be there. He was there probably because he had to be there. And what I don't want is that. I don't want to have to be 75 years old and do 2 shows a night for a week at a club. I don't want to have to do that. But this is what we love to do. Sometimes, we'll be somewhere in Europe somewhere, and I think to myself, like, fuck, this is my job. Like, this shit is amazing. I love what I do. So I want to do it until it just doesn't make sense to do. And there is a retirement plan. I mean, we've made some good investments and done some things, and we continue to do that. So when we get to a point that we, okay, we got enough, we just want to chill, we just want to roll it back, or just kind of do it at a more comfortable and or age appropriate level, we could just do that. And that's the retirement plan. And then as far as the kids, all three of our kids, we have a blended family, and all three of them are very very music focused, at least at this time. Our oldest girl is a singer, songwriter, producer type. Our middle boy, my biological son Micah, is producing and making beats and whatever else, and rapping and doing graphic design and all this stuff. And then our youngest boy is a sophomore at no freshman at Berklee School of Music in Boston, and he's a drummer. And so yes, all of the above. We want to hand it over, we want to retire, and we want to do this until we don't want to do this shit no more.
Dan, quick question. So right now you're not necessarily tied to a label.
No.
More just still creating your own musical content and just distributing out to the public via the independent channels. That's right.
And we've been essentially that the whole time. I mean, we did a couple of licensing deals with some large majors, but large independent labels through E1, and that was a good and bad experience. But again, God bless you to anybody who wants to be in the selling of records business right now, because that shit is tough. The streaming has changed the game and the approach on that completely. But the long and short of it, no, we don't have any. We're not signed to nothing. Yeah.
Call it freedom, brother.
It's I'm thankful. I'm thankful. And truth be told, I mean, there's a lot of artists, major label artists that that we probably know that, I mean, and this is not a brag, but we probably do better than they do, because we're able to take home, after we pay our people, our staff, we're able to take home a lot more than the small piece of the pie that they're making for doing a lot more work and being a lot more they're exploited. The piece of the pie of what they're exploiting is so much more small, so much smaller.
Yeah, because you just have to pay the people that are actually doing work for you, and that overhead is not a part of the equation. So
exactly, and that's not this to anybody who's on a major. That's just
how it rolls.
This is what works for us.
Exactly. You got a question?
Yeah, I do. Hey, Daniel, again, brother, cool. Thanks for being on, man, brother. Definitely appreciate you taking the time out, man, out of your busy schedule. So we know the music industry has completely changed. Mm-hmm. And with that change, do you see more opportunities in the marketplace than they existed before? And if so, how do you see yourself capitalizing on those? I know we talked about it briefly before, the additional opportunities that you see in the marketplace. How you see you and your wife able to capitalize on those?
Yeah. So I, again, for me, I see it as an opportunity. I see it as the distance between artist creation and then the listener has been diminishing, shorter and shorter. And now it's basically like this. I could record something right now, and by this evening, it could be out there. You know what I mean? And there's an up and a downside to that. The upside is, yes, I could put it out there. The downside is, you may or may not have the resources and the know-how to get it to a wide enough audience. You may not know how to monetize it. You may not have, you might not have the A&Rs and the such that are going to help you refine your product in a way. But again, also with owning the whole pie instead of a fractional piece of it, you don't need to reach 1 million people. Like I was saying, our goal in the next 90 days is 1,000. And then that it's much more scalable and much more control. We don't have to reach everybody. So I see it as a huge opportunity, but I have to say it did take for me and for many of my counterparts, a shift in the way you think. you know, a shift in, you know, even we were having some conversations about the Grammys. It used to be like, ah, man, I want to win a Grammy, and I would love to win a Grammy, but there's, you know, it simply doesn't mean the same things. That there's, just like anything else, there's so much political, you know, and major label stuff that happens to make the Grammy stuff happen, that it's almost difficult to just, you know, have an apples to apples chance to win, you know, or to be thought of. It absolutely does happen, but my point just is taking a shift to, you know, that the accolades to just pure business. Like, this, does the shit make sense? You know, does it make sense for me to see 11% of every dollar, and I'm you know, it's almost like pimping. You know, it's almost like you a hoe.
Like,
you know what I mean? And so and again, that's no diss to anybody who, you know, who's on a major label, and not every situation is like that. But for us, you know, we found a thing that's worked well for us. You know, case of, or to Chuck's question earlier, you know, if a major label came along and it was the right situation, we would be open to it, as long as it allowed us to still, you know, own and control our business, you know. But yes, you know.
That's what's up. It's funny you talk about the Grammys. It's like, back in the day, getting that Grammy exposure would change somebody's career.
Yeah.
Now, this shit can happen if your song is played on a fucking episode of Insecure.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Or you get the right TikTok or Instagram or whatever.
She goes by. Yeah, exactly.
Go crazy. You just out there. I mean, look at the what's the kid that was the big deal last year? Little Nas X. You know, that Old Town Road song. He blew up off TikTok.
Exactly.
I found a lot of shit on TikTok now, actually. A lot of new shit I found on TikTok.
Yeah,
I mean,
man.
It's amazing how you just, that number that you said, you set a goal of 1,000, you know, people. I mean, your platform, Avery, you guys easily have that fan base, easily. You know, I think you got, you know, and that's real. And what you starting and what you're doing, that's not a hard goal for you.
No, it's not. And we about to see. You know, we about to see what the fan base
I think that's easy, man.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. So go to HeySunshineShow.com.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all ready to get busy? Anybody got?
Yeah, everybody get 5 ready.
I'm ready. I'm excited about hearing y'all's, man. I'm ready for everybody.
Yeah, look here, once you hear my shit, y'all gonna be sad because we time to go. Anybody want to hear the rest of it?
Man, it's so hard to pick 5 songs. Like,
yeah, man, that's what I want to make it tough for y'all, man. But that was a project that I told everybody earlier before you got on, man. I whipped out the CDs, man.
Yeah,
my CDs. I had to. Then I was able to ask Mom that when I played the song, you know, Dr. Bazaar and the Savannah Band.
Oh,
first shot. I'll get that's on my list. Hold on. My bad. Karl B. Go ahead.
It's clearly some Oakland shit. Clearly.
Go ahead, buddy.
Because it was all like, all right, y'all ready?
Yeah.
All right, I know Chelsea should do this, but I'm gonna play a little bit of it. Y'all hear that?
Yeah, I hear it.
Anybody know who that is?
Oh yeah, I know who that is immediately. But I might have a competitive advantage though.
Yeah, well, first one for me, the great Al Green, Simply Beautiful. Now, real quick, the reason I chose that, I'm from Memphis and grew up a stone's throw from Al Green's church in Whitehaven. I was force-fed on music as a kid. My parents, I was the second of 2 children. That was a mistake. And they was like, man, you go in the back and fend for yourself. We out here chilling. So my parents force-fed me on that shit. Johnny Taylor, Johnny Guitar Watson, B.B. King, all of that. And Al Green was in heavy rotation. So this was a formative part of my, you know, my beginnings with music, right? The great Al Green. Now, I got to throw a quick honorable mention in there for the great Marvin Gaye. This is a Memphis anthem. So same genre and that kind of thing. This is the kind of song that everybody in Memphis would stop and be singing along with for the whole time. Now, another thing that's interesting about this is going to tie into another song I got in my top 5. So this is one of my honorable mentions. This beat is going to be used. All right. We're moving on. Now, I had an older sibling. Having an older sibling, when a lot of folks our age listen to Popcorn Love and that bullshit, I was listening to grown adult fucking music. That's probably also what's wrong with me today, what made me a sociopath. But this right here, this is one of my favorite songs from growing up that I took out of my sister's collection. And this formed a lot of who I am, even to this day. Anybody know what that is?
Yeah.
Now, we definitely can't be flexible to this, and they'll shut this shit down real quick. But I just wanted the beat to come in real quick. It's coming in a second. This is like the greatest song ever, but I knew all the words, all the beats. Like I could do the drum part of the song. Now I don't even know how to play fucking drums. But anyway, let's pretend we married. When the 1999 remaster came out, I bought that because I'm a Prince fan. And when I got it, I re-listened to the whole shit, and I was like, this is some damaging lyrics for a child to be listening to. I forget what year this came out, but it had to be early 80s. Or like 80, 81, 82. I was like 10 years old, man. Ain't no 10-year-old supposed to listen to no shit like this. But again, for those of you who know me, that's probably what's wrong with my ass now. All right, moving right along. We can fast forward now to like the formative years. Another one of my all-time favorites. Anybody that also knows me knows I'm a big fan of the 2 Live Crew. I see you got 3 minutes left. So, yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with that. So, I guess it's my first time I heard 2 Live Crew. It changed my life. First song was Throw That Dick. We Want Some is another great hit by 2 Live Crew. And, that would have made the top 5. But as you hear a little bit in the background, hold on 1 second. Like, who doesn't love that shit? You know what I'm saying? Anyway, this is a live in the Land Liberty City remix. You know what I'm saying? So you got to dig in and fall down. But the point is, that shit there, that's also what I was raised on. Prince set the stage, and then here comes this, 2 Live Crew shit. Again, anybody knows me knows how, deep it is in me. When I was in high school, nickname was, before it was Karl B, it was Karl 2 Live Brian. So there you go. Now moving on, coming from the South, when we got to Morehouse, there was no Southern rap played whatsoever. All they played was Anita Applebaum and that New York shit that James and Louis played down the hall. Me and Cool hated that shit. Okay, we fucking hated that shit. I hated Tribe Called Quest until I was probably 40 years old. Just because I hated Anita Applebaum and all that Tribe shit they used to play. It was just Loose Ends and Tribe Called Quest. That's all they played. Then when Wu-Tang came out, nigga forget it. Anyway. I hated Tribe because you 95. Right. The 94 class, dog, literally all they played was Anita Applebaum. I swear to God. It was some New York shit. We don't fuck with New York shit. You know what we fuck with? What we fuck with right here. So this is Pimps by 8Ball MJG, the Memphis Legends. And if you want to listen to the lyrics, I mean, for the ladies, the lyrics are a little bit misogynist because they do talk about violence against women. At the time, we weren't really thinking about it like that. But, this is a special song here. Now, it represents everything about Memphis. That's all the game, right? So, wait, there's one more. Hold on. Game is lame, man. I mean, it's this is quintessential. This is quintessential right here. Oh wait. About how my gold teeth look so fresh. I could let this go on for hours and hours. I was actually